Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are live for yet again another episode of Empire State of Baseball. This is November 4th of the year 2024, episode 109, airing on X, Instagram, YouTube, and powered by StreamYard. Well, we've made it. We're at the season finale of season 3. What a season it's been, both for the regular season, the postseason, our show season here. Unfortunate ending for the New York Yankees, but this is our first time doing the show together where we had
Wait, Corey,
the World Series. We ended up having both teams making very deep playoff runs as well. So unfortunate ending for all of us not having gotten the championship, but before the season started, I think we all would have been happy to be here. Joe, how you feeling?
Corey, when the Yankees lost, I thought I turned it off in the 5th inning, and I just assumed they won that game, and then Rodon shoved, and then there was a classic Game 7. Is that not what happened?
They had a clean. I felt like they had a clean. I think they played clean baseball, especially in that last game.
They lost. Yamamoto shoved in Game 6, and they beat the Yankees 1-0. Rodon had a gem. Okay, well, upsetting, but at least the Dodgers really earned it. They weren't handed the World Series on a silver platter.
No, what actually happened might have been the worst defensive inning in World Series history for the New York Yankees and Gerrit Cole, unfortunately. And that is where we are at. And we're going to get Rich and Tom's thoughts here, who are watching the game live, how they feel about it, how they feel about the World Series in general. But, we had a little, I would say the World Series was a little bit of a disappointment overall. Given the hype, the fact that it was Yankees and Dodgers and only went to a Game 5, I think is fresh in everybody's mind as we come to a day here where free agency is now officially upon us.
Can we also talk about that real quick? It's way too early for free agency to start. Like, if the World Series went Game 7, they would have been like 48 hours from the end of the season to free agency. That is way too close.
And Tom, this is why I say all the time, like, even though, when that last out finds a glove in the World Series, the offseason just flies, and you're already at pitchers and catchers. There's just so much going on in the sport in the offseason between now today with the qualifying offers, and we're going to talk about one specific offer in just a few moments. But yeah, you got the award season, the winter meetings, the Hall of Fame. Baseball, to me, does a great job in keeping the conversation around the sport throughout the offseason. Really makes the offseason fly. And we do our job here at Empire State of Baseball and try to stay on top of all of it. And we'll have more on our schedule in the offseason following this season 3 finale for tonight. But I did want to start with this. And before we do anything else, before we get into the formalities, because we do have a whole lineup for you guys, we always like to try to get in on the breaking news happening around the sport. And there was some breaking news earlier today, and just a couple hours ago. Gerrit Cole, an impromptu Empire Express, folks. Gerrit Cole will be making his return. Well, he'll not be making his return, but he'll be remaining with the New York Yankees for 4 years, $144 million. And this was broken by Jeff Passan, among other beat writers out there. Discussions on a potential contract extension will continue. Essentially, it's the same as if Cole did not opt out. This is an interesting one, to say the least, Joe. And I know, again, we have a whole show tonight to get into, but we did have to talk about this real quick before we move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's strange. I don't think I've ever seen a player opt out. A team also essentially declined the option that they had on him. And then the player, from my understanding, looks like he changed his mind on an opt-out. And so, I mean, that's great for Cole. I didn't really think that Cole was going to leave the Yankees. I thought the Yankees were going to pick up that option. But it looks to me, from my eyes, that the Yankees said, we don't want to give you the 5th year. And if you think you can go out there and get 5 years and at the 170, I think it was 179 or 180 million that the total value would have been,
That's 180.
be my guest. And then it seemed like Cole kind of got cold feet that he wouldn't get that out in the open market, which I disagree with. I mean, we just saw DeGrom sign a 5-year, $185 million contract, and he's never healthy. So I would have thought that Cole would have been able to get that out there. But I guess the Yankee fan should be thrilled about this because A, Cole is staying, and B, you don't have to pay a 35-year-old pitcher for another year towards the end of his contract where he'd be 39 years old. So I think the Yankee fan should be overall happy with the situation because they get Cole back and they don't have to pay him a 5th year when might be a bad option for them at his age.
I think what Jacob has here is, I think this is definitely part of it. You know, Cole had the elbow issue, came back, didn't get surgery. And the Yankees also not going to give him the 5th year. They're the only team that knows what's floating around on that elbow. No other team knows, and there might be a physical, but they wouldn't do a full, they're not going to do an MRI to sign a contract. So I think part of it is the Yankees were in the World Series and they were focused, and Cole was focused on playing. And there just wasn't enough time, I think, to figure out what they wanted to do. I do wonder, although historically the Yankees don't operate this way, they wanted to do some deferral type stuff, not full Ohtani style, but, maybe pay him out, $10 million a year for his age, whatever, like 40 some seasons. He's not going to be playing, but he's collecting money, kind of like spread out the hit, especially as they're going to try to re-sign Soto and sign some other pieces. So it's interesting. So I think Heyman also then later said that there is now no more extension talk as of right now. But I think it's probably because the Yankees are saying like, "Hey, Garrett, we got to go. Stuff. We'll come back."
Yeah, it was just weird.
Now, why would you extend a 30-something-year-old pitcher at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Joe, like you said, from a Yankee fan standpoint, I mean, this is great. You keep your ace. You don't have to give him that extra year option. It's just weird how it played out. I never expected Cole to play for another team next year. Just weird situation with the opt-out, and then the deadline came, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, LOL JK, I'm coming back. So interesting how it played out, but it is what it is. End of the day, Yankee fans, you all should be happy you're keeping your ace, Garrett Cole. And the Yankees' postseason loss in the World Series was not because of Cole. Cole did very well in the. What do you have? 1 earned run, and
he could have covered that. He could have covered first. That really would have helped if he would have done.
That's the one caveat.
More on Dodgers Yankees in the World Series in like a little bit. Joe, go ahead.
I would say just of the free agent moves that happened in the last few minutes, in the last couple hours, I actually think the more surprising one is the Yankees did not offer Torres a qualifying offer.
You're surprised at that, of all people?
I would not have offered it to him, but I think that actually is officially the end of Gleyber Torres as a Yankee. I think that was the only path forward for him to be in the Yankees next year. I think that's done. Minaya, Severino, and Alonso get the qualifying offers for the Mets. Soto obviously gets it for the Yankees. I think the only one right now that I think might accept it is Severino.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think for him, what is it now? 20 is it 21 million?
21. I think it 21.
20.6. Is that what it is?
Yeah. It's just about 21 million. Yeah. For Luis Severino, I think that's a deal that he accepts, knowing his injury past. And this is one of his better pitching seasons. Hell, we had him on our bull list that we revealed last week for a reason. But yeah, I think Sevy would be the one to take up on that. Minaya, I think could get a little bit more out there. Who had already declined, I believe, his player option. So it's going to be very interesting. But more on the offseason down the line. I don't know if it's going to be this episode, but we're really going to get into it because we still got to talk about the World Series and such. But before we get into all that's going to be covered on our rundown, let's shout out our chat real quick. And as always, he's always the first one in the chat. We really do appreciate it. Mr. Jacob Petruzzi in the building. Smack that like and sub button for the fellas on your way in. They are on the road to 500 subscribers. We finally eclipsed the 400 subscriber mark. The subscriber count's been going up over the last week. So it was good to see over there. We got over the 400 mark. So once we hit the 500, we'll have another subscriber giveaway episode whenever that milestone does happen. Christy Evans, the intro stopped, and the boys got right into it. I love it. Shout out to Chris and the fellas over at Yankees Pod. And speaking of Yankees Pod, Chris Califf, CK, Like, I was just kidding. I'm staying. And that's pretty much the vibe around Garrett Cole and the Yankees. Ghost of Uptown Sports TV. Make sure to give them a subscribe. Says, sup, everybody. Mike Parziale in the building. Game of chicken, and Cole chickened out. Good call by him, though. Doubt he gets a better offer on the open market with that elbow. So Mike Parziale getting in on the Garrett Cole action. But we have action to get into ourselves, and we're going to cover it on our Roback Rundown, brought to you by
Nike.
Brought to you by
Roback. Brought to you by Roback, of course. I got to say, Joe, you've never looked better in your life with that Roback Q-zip on. I got one going as well. Got the little Azalea collection for the spring, Joe. Looks like you got the stars, the Admiral, looking very patriotic up in the top right corner. Listen, it's fall. Fall is here, and it feels like at some points it's winter already, and there's nothing better to keep you warm and some Roback. They, again, the classic Q-zips and hoodies, but they've actually come out with new fleece, long sleeve fleece sweaters, sweatshirts. They have a heavier hoodie now, so they're really loading you up for the winter to keep you nice and warm and cozy as we wait until the spring and baseball return again. Head over to Roback.com and use promo code TWASPL15 to save yourself 15% off your first order. And as always, just search through that last call section. There's good stuff in there to be found with some good deals that you can stack the promo code on top of. That's it. Yeah, Roback.com.
Yeah, no, I couldn't recommend it more. I had my Irish coffee Roback shirt on yesterday, and I gotta say, always love the feel. Doesn't matter the weather, they have the clothes for you. Anyway, we got a big show today as part of our season finale, the postseason push. We got into it a little bit in the intro, but we have a lot more to cover about everything in the World Series with this Yankees-Dodgers matchup. And I'm sure we'll touch a little bit on the Mets as well, even though their season ended a couple weeks back. Then we have the Khore Kurriculum as our final game as part of this season. Khore Kurriculum is always interesting because you can accrue a lot of points. A little bit of a twist with this show and this particular game segment. We'll get more to that a little later today. And then finally, we're going to revisit our 2024 season predictions. As typical, we always run through and predict the award winners for the 2024 seasons. And sometimes we hit the nail on the head. Sometimes we don't. This year is probably a little rougher than most. So we'll take a look at that later in the evening.
Yeah, it's borderline embarrassing, but we'll get into that.
I have no idea who I chose. I'm gonna learn with everyone.
We're gonna get some laughs.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. We'll get into it more. But yes, as painful as it is to see this, but congrats to the Los Angeles Dodgers, your 2024 World Series champions. And, we covered this extensively over the last couple of weeks as far as, previewing this matchup between the Yankees and Dodgers. And I think Joe hit the nail on the head. Disappointment was, I think, the word that we're looking for here. What was supposed to be such a box office fight, which people had maybe had thought was going to go at least 6 to 7 games, ended in 5. The Yankees down bad, 3-0. No team in the history of the World Series have come back from that and won. No team has even pushed to game 6. But yet we go to game 5. We're about 4.5 innings in, and it looks like the Yankees are just about to do that. 5-0 lead. I think it was like a 95% win percentage of that game. And then the 5th inning happens, and easily the worst defensive inning I've ever seen this team ever play in, regular or postseason. It was horrendous, Tom.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was. And the sad thing is, if you're a Yankee fan and you've watched them all year, you kind of weren't surprised as it was happening. Now, it was horrifying to watch, but I think the second Judge dropped that ball, you thought like, this is they're not just going to just get 3 outs after this, and this is that the Dodgers at least are going to put a couple runs on the board, and then it snowballed. I'll say I think the Volpe play was a tough play, and I think he made the right decision by where he was going. He just didn't execute the throw, but it was a tough throw because I forget who was going third. He was right on him. It's a tough play. I
think it was Edmund, because the judge drop was the one that really kind of set the tone, because you basically knew the top of the order was now getting up, just to bring that in with runners in scoring position. The Volpe play is the least egregious play, right? He's going to the left. He's trying to get the lead runner. That's really his only play. Was it Ohtani who hit that ball?
No, I think Cole struck Ohtani out later. I think it
Okay.
was Gavin Lux.
Or lost something like that. So it was hard pressed to believe that he was going to make the play at first. That's the least egregious one. The judge is tied for the most egregious with Cole in my mind because the ball was so routine. I mean,
Judge's ball was like basically thrown to him. It was bad.
Yeah,
The Volpe one also, if you've watched enough Yankees this year, that's almost like Volpe's signature play is cutting down the runner at third. He's done it so many times this year, and he's done it really well. So that was surprising. The Judge is embarrassing. And then Cole and Rizzo, just if one of them does their job there, it should be an out, and neither of them did. It was just
I still put the earnest more on Cole on that play.
Mm-hmm.
That is pitcher's fielding practice. That is basic 101 fundamental. And you can see it's funny how these things seem to happen in major playoff games. You think any other time, like, yes, the pitcher's going to cover the bag, Rizzo's going to flip it over. And from what I've seen over the course of the season, Rizzo usually is the one to kind of play the ball and wait and feed their pitcher, go to first base. Now, this is a ball hit off of Mookie Betts' bat. He's a righty. This is a ball that was squibbed to the right side. Definitely had a little bit of English on it. I
think it had a lot of English on it.
So for Rizzo, in that play, he had to make sure he secured that ball instead of charging it. You never know if you're going to come up with that ball now. You could be a platinum glove first baseman, the reigning platinum glove first baseman going into that play, and it's a tough one to make. But Gerrit Cole just not getting off the mound, where 2-3 innings later, Juan Soto hits a ground ball to first. Guess what the first baseman does? He flips it to Blake Trinan, covering the bag, and they get Soto.
What's worse. I don't know if you saw the cut up of this. That exact play happened in the first inning. Mookie Betts hit a cue ball to Rizzo at first, and Gerrit Cole covered, and they got the out. It was the same play. If you watch the replay of the beginning of it, you will think it's the play from the fifth, but it's actually from the first inning. It's the same
Cole has to put himself in a position where Rizzo.
They both need to be able to make that play.
Rizzo needs the option, though. The pitcher needs to give Rizzo the option. So if Rizzo can take it to the bag himself, that's fine. But in case Rizzo can't get there, Cole has to be there in order to give that option. Yeah. And listen, at the end of the day, I've been saying this for weeks. There's a lot of people around MLB saying it now. The Yankees' fatal flaws were defense and base running. They were not a good defensive team outside of two players. They were not a good base running team outside of two players. And that was a fatal flaw for them. The Dodgers took advantage. The Dodgers, for the most part, played clean baseball as far as the defense was concerned, and they played flawlessly on the base pass. So this was a problem for the Yankees. The Yankees got exposed as being old, unathletic, and just poor fundamentally. And let's be real. That's what they look like. It's three great players, a Stanton who always produces in the playoffs, and then the rest of the team looks one-dimensional at every other position. Either one person's a decent offensive player, or they're a bad defensive player like Gleyber Torres, or they're old like Anthony Rizzo and they can't run the bases and they can't play great defense.
That's the upsetting thing about that inning. The ball hit the Judge, and Judge is out of position in center field, but he is although has not won a Gold Glove, he's a Gold Glove caliber right fielder. So a ball hit the Judge, you feel good about. Anthony Volpe is the reigning Gold Glove shortstop. Balls hit to Anthony Volpe, you feel good. You feel good about. And Anthony Rizzo has won a Platinum Glove. It's not like this was Gleyber and Jazz and Wells. It was literally the three guys you want the ball hit to, and none of them made the play. Again, some of the Cole is definitely at fault with Rizzo, but it's just it seems like the team is just generally undisciplined, and it's been a complaint that people have had, that they've brought it up to the Yankees in press conferences and post game stuff this season, and they've always kind of written it off of like, it's bad luck or this or that, and they need to take a hard look in the mirror and realize that they can't operate this way. Like they played good baseball, they would have been up 3-2 against the Dodgers. And instead they were getting embarrassed in game 5.
And it's a shame too, because from a Yankee standpoint, we basically said their biggest advantage, if you're looking at the head-to-head, was the ace. I mean, the Yankees have a legitimate ace in Garrett Cole. The Dodgers pitching staff was a complete mess for the most part. You have a lot of guys who off years, injured years, half their rotations hurt. They did bullpen games throughout the playoffs and the World Series, the Dodgers. And Garrett Cole did his job both times out there, with the exception of covering the bag, of course. But one earned run in 2 games pitched. I mean, if you would have told any of us that, we would have said, unless the bullpen blows it late, that's 2 easy wins. If you get a 1 earned run in 2 starts. So the Yankees did work to their advantage in terms of having the best ace pitcher out there, but they shot themselves in the foot with the poor defense. And the Dodgers, all the comments that I saw on Twitter too, leading up to it, and everyone saying that they knew the Yankees had that fatal flaw. We spoke about it too. I know, Joe, you mentioned a ton of times about the defense. And unfortunately, the good, while the good came out with the Yankees in terms of, Garrett Cole did a great job, the bad came out even more. And it shined there really in that 5th inning. And I haven't seen innings like that in Major League Baseball for a long time. I see that in beer league softball pretty much weekly when we play. But to see that in the World Series, where you have the best 2 teams on paper out there, it's wild.
And also in typical beer league softball, Corey Favs wasn't there to witness it, but game 3 of the JFK Softball League quarterfinals, Ballbusters have a 5-0 lead, erased by multiple errors across 2 innings.
Oh, you pulled the Yankees,
and we lost. I think we lost 8-5 was the final, 9-5.
Oh man,
it was brutal.
We
put on our best Yankees impersonation.
Only positive of that, you might not have to play softball in December now.
That's good. Yeah, exactly. We can cut a turkey and not worry about softball.
But yeah, I think the most important thing, obviously, the Yankees' number 1 priority this offseason is re-sign Soto. The number 2 thing is have to figure out a way to get this team younger, more athletic, and more consistent at certain positions. They declined the option on Rizzo. Rizzo's, I mean, I'm sorry, Rizzo looks like he's done. He's never healthy. He lacks consistency.
He hasn't been the same since the concussion.
He's not dependable at this point. Torres is a bad defender. I think his days with the Yankees are now over. He had a second baseman playing third base. I think the Yankees first and foremost need to figure out a way to get Judge and Jazz in their rightful spots, and then put guys around them that are meant to be at the positions they're supposed to be at. And
Harrison Bader, center field.
What'd you say, Corey?
Harrison Bader, center field.
It might be a possibility.
Could be. I mean, it could be a possibility. And I don't know how deep we wanted to get into off-season talk. I know in a couple weeks' time, we have our off-season agenda episodes where the 4 of us are going to put on our general manager caps and address the needs of each of our teams within the realms of realistic, within the terms of contracts and the luxury tax and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun that we've done this the last couple of years. But yeah, as far as the Yankees go, Joe, I think how it's presented right now, and I've been pretty vocal about this, and it's very unpopular. There's 2 routes. There's either the non-fun offseason, which is allocate your funds into one player in Juan Soto and kind of run with the rest of your team being built from within. Maybe you have some funds where you can add a couple of relievers, maybe another offensive player, but that's a lot of maybes in an offseason. The second part, in my opinion, is the fun offseason, where you don't bring back Juan Soto and you allocate his funds towards players that you need.
I don't find that to be very fun.
I
think it's pretty fun.
Well, my thing is, if you bring back Soto, you're going to approach $300 million on the salary, right? I think the Yankees with arbitration estimates are at what, 230 or something right now accounted for this year. So if you're going to dump $45 or $50 million into Soto, now the amount of room that you have to fill first base, third base, left field, or left field or center field is very minimal, and not to mention the back end of the bullpen. So then you have to trust that you're going to have probably Ben Rice and Caleb Durbin on your infield. You're going to have Jason Dominguez in center field. Having 3 rookies or close to rookie level players in the lineup is not really sending the message that this is our World Series window with these elite top of the tier players.
And we'll get into it, Joe. I think the answer to that is the Yankees need to start selling off prospects for guys who are going into their last year or two of contracts, going to teams like the Royals, the A's, and trying to make deals where they you trade a Spencer Jones if you need to get a first baseman for the next 2 years. So you're kind of patching that way. I think that's, if they sign Soto, that's going to be the route they're going to have to go. Because I agree, they're not going to be able to sign anyone else. It's wild what you see out there on Twitter, and it's like, sign Soto, sign Christian Walker, sign Teoscar Hernandez, and then Pete Alonso could come in and platoon with Stan. You're like, what are we like, guys? This isn't.
There's
happening.
nothing, Tom. There is nothing more fun than hearing sports radio the day after the Yankees have their last game of the season, whether it's in October or September, because everybody wants to play lawn chair general manager, sign all these players. The Yankees have unlimited money, as if they didn't say they're already going to cut payroll to begin with. So we're giving Juan Soto 16 years, $720 million. Oh, sorry, I don't want any problems. But Corey, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, the whole Juan Soto situation, too, is so interesting because I understand both your points. Rich, I mean, from your standpoint, Soto is going to cost a hell of a lot of money. And you bring back Soto, and if the rest of the team is basically the same, how have you improved upon last year? If anything, you're setting yourself up for a position where you have a lot of players in their early to mid-30s, 1 year older. So it's going to be a little hard to repeat that, hoping everyone stays healthy the whole year, the same success rate, whatnot.
Not really, though. Judge is in his early 30s, but, Rizzo's gone. So you'd have Jazz is young, Volpe's young, Wells is young, Dominguez is going to be there young, Soto's young. Like, it's really not – they're not that old. They're generally unathletic and play bad defense, but they're not really that old of a team. They don't have Rizzo was old, but other than him, they don't have a bunch of like 35-year-olds. Like the Dodgers have an older team than the Yankees do.
Yeah, I think the thing is Judge right now is 32 years old. Stanton's in his 30s. Cole, I think, is 34. Those are obviously Soto is still so young. On paper he's 25. There's a whole separate scenario in MLB right now with that Padres prospect about being 5 years older than actuality. But Soto on paper is 25 years old too. So you'd have your one-star player right in the middle of his prime at 25 years old, but the other stars on your team, the Stantons, the Judges, the Coles, all in their 30s. But again, I understand your side of it as well, Tom, because Soto is such a generational player, and you bring him in, it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money, but look what he does to a lineup. He completely changed it. First of all, his eye for the zone is impressive because he draws a ton of walks. He's patient at the plate, and if he's getting on base, he's setting up guys like Judge, like Stanton to get put in those RBI situations. He could also hit the ball 450 feet in any given at bat, and he had a lot of clutch home runs in this postseason run as well. So I see both sides of the coin. I'm glad I'm not the one who has to work out the contract to try to bring him on board. My standpoint from a Mets side of it, I would absolutely love if they bring in Juan Soto. I would love to have his bat in that lineup. I hope they do it. But it's going to be interesting. I'm very curious to see that final contract.
Here's the interesting thing. I think this is the problem that the Yankees are going to be faced with more so than the Mets, who are also going to be suitors for Soto. If the Soto decision drags too far into the offseason and Soto and free agents start coming off the board, if Soto, for whatever reason, leaves the Yankees, let's say he leaves the Mets, and Adames or Santander have already signed elsewhere, the Yankees' time to pivot to plan B might close while they're waiting for a Soto decision. So the Yankees are kind of stuck in between, where if they are committing to Soto, Soto has to give them a straight answer, because if they're not going to go after Soto and they now have $50 million of payroll that they're going to divvy up between 3 or 4 players, they need to know that, because they're not going to get Soto and then sign one of those other players. Most likely they need to know which road they're taking. The Mets can kind of walk that avenue where, well, we can re-sign Alonso and that doesn't affect our ability to re-sign Soto. We can sign a pitcher and that doesn't affect our ability to re-sign Soto. Right now, it looks like the Yankees, it does affect what they're going to do for the rest of the offseason.
I think the Mets and Yankees offseason doesn't start, and I guess maybe if you want for the Dodgers, who else, and it doesn't start until Soto signs, because you could say that, Joe, and I understand the Mets have had a lot of money come off the books, but they're still not going to spend $500 million on their payroll, and Soto being the biggest chunk that would be allocated, they kind of need to know that before they make some of their other moves. And the thing is, with Soto was, when he was in Washington 3 years ago, declined the $400-something million. Is that what it was?
435. I think it was for 12 years.
We all know the number starts like with a 5. So I don't know. There's part of me that thinks that Soto realizes, everyone realizes where his market starts.
15-year 440.
15 for
440. So, although maybe 15 years is not out there, I guess maybe it could be, because he'll be 41.
According to some, 16, 17 years are out there. But
the starting. If he 440, I laugh at you. It's starting at 550, right? And I think from there, it will go up. It's not. I don't think it's getting to 700. I don't see a world where he gets that. Ohtani didn't even really get that. If you look at how his money's getting paid, and Ohtani has the potential to be a starting pitcher as well, so he's not getting that much money. So you're between 550 and.
What's Judge's AAV? Isn't it 43? Or was it?
It's 40 on the dot.
It's 40. So the highest pitchers got to 43 and a half. So I think the AAV has to be at 45. So that's, you're automatically on a 12, 13-year deal. I think you're automatically at, was that 550?
13 times 45 is 585.
So I think that's the base. So I think him and Boris are going to stretch for 50 and be the first $50 million player flat. I think that's an important. Either way, 45 gets you the highest AAV in the sport. 50 gets you to a mark nobody's gotten before and establishes the new precedent. So I think both of those marks are important to them. I think Boris is going to shoot for 50 and hope for that. I think it ends up, I think we realistically get into the 600s. I think we're
4 players making $160 million total.
That's a lot.
I just looking at where the organization can go beyond Juan Soto, I think they can do a lot more in the short term if you don't bring the guy back. It's as crazy as that sounds. I think if you sign Soto, your team is probably a playoff team. You address needs and put players back to position and structure your team accordingly, actually might put you back in the conversation again.
They were just in the World Series, though. You say not signing him, you can get into the playoffs. You just had him and you made the World Series. But the team.
What I'm saying is, just signing Soto, Tom, might not even guarantee you a postseason spot if there's nothing else you can do.
You see, there's going to be other moves they're going to have to make, and again, we keep saying we're going to get into it more in 2 weeks. I think the not re-sign Soto option would have made more sense in a year like 2 years ago when there were so many big free agents out there. There's not a lot. There's not another big guy out. You're not filling it. Sorry, I don't think they're going to sign Alonso. Christian Walker's a nice player, but Christian Walker doesn't play in the same universe.
He's a stopgap for a few years.
Yeah, there's not enough talent out there, in my opinion, to fill that gap. As there have been in other seasons.
If I were to tell you, instead of signing Soto, you could get Adames, Santander, and Christian Walker, that doesn't put you in a better position than if you have Soto, Ben Rice, and Caleb Durbin.
I don't.
What combination of 3 players is going to serve you better?
Again, like I said before, I think the Yankees are going to have to make some trades. I think the rumors are already flying out there with Vinny Pasquantino with the Royals. Would the Royals trade him?
I don't see why they would. They just re-signed Waka for 3 years. The Royals have clearly opened their window.
I'm just using him as an example.
Yeah.
I think he's the type of guy that I think he's probably 2 years left before he's a free agent. Those are the type of guys you have to go out and make trades for along with Soto because, yeah, I'm sorry. If you're bringing Adames, so then you're moving Volpe off, or you're putting Adames at third. You're bringing Santander in, so you still have the Judge problem because Santander is a right fielder, and he's not a natural first baseman, so you still have that same issue. It's the same problem, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be extremely creative. And I know, Tom, like, spoiler, I know you're going to address more of that in 2 weeks, where I'm gonna do the opposite. Yeah, they're gonna have to be extremely creative to put a functioning team around a Juan Soto signing. And it's something that I don't know if I fully trust the organization doing, especially if it means entrusting some of your kids to do it. Look how they've played some of these prospects in the last few years. Outside of Anthony Volpe getting his fair share of the 2022 season, 23 season, I don't know if I can even trust him to do that right by Jason Dominguez or Caleb Durbin or Ben Rice, for instance. So it's a lot. And I know we have plenty of show. We'll get more into it on Extra Innings tonight and in a couple weeks' time on the off-season agenda. Before we get to Khore Kurriculum, let's talk about YouTube. And with YouTube, we go to Joe.
Yes, you can join us. We are live on Instagram and X, but our preferred method of viewership is YouTube. It is our preferred platform. Why is it our preferred platform? Excuse me, because we can interact with you in the chat. We can see your comments live as they come up, and we can respond to you and make you guys part of the show. So go to YouTube, go Empire State of Baseball. For the full experience, we got our clips, for past episodes, everything. We got 408 subscribers. We're on the road to 500. Once we get to 500, we're going to do a giveaway. That I know. So let's help us get there. Subscribing's free. All you got to do is click the button and join us on YouTube today.
Thank you very much. YouTube, our preferred way to listen. Make sure to subscribe. Okay, let's get to our ESP game and our final one of the season, and let's take a look at the standings. We haven't had a standings update, but this is what it's looking like, guys. So 24, Joe's in the lead just by 1. Tom is in second place with 23. Corey Favs right there in the mix though at 19, and I'm there at 15. And the reason why, listen, the top 3, and we're in the final day of this, is because today's game is a game that is you could collect so many points and essentially change the whole entire damn thing in just one night. And with that game is our host, Mr. Andrew Khore. Khore, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much. Looking forward to this episode. It's going to be a fun game.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Khore, and make sure we have his handles here below here. Make sure to give him a follow at _Khore on Instagram and at Khore_ on X. Khore is an awesome Met fan. You definitely want to follow him. Now, Khore, you had a little bit of twist on tonight's game. So let's pull up that question and what the rules are for this specific version of Khore Kurriculum.
Yeah, so it's a Sporkle quiz. The question is, can you name the 103 MLB players with the most home runs by position since 2010? The only stipulation is they have to have played at least 60% of their time at that position to count. All
right, so we're going to do this. This is going to be crazy how we're going to have to end up doing this thing. But with the power of, hang on now, we're just going to get the screen going right here. All right, we're going to share this quiz. So thanks to our friends over at
Private Chat, everyone. Private chat,
everybody. So
Joe, private chat, cheater.
I'm going to pull up the quiz on my end so we can get this thing operated. You guys can see that real quick? Can you guys see that?
No, we can see the blackboard.
I see a blackboard, yeah.
Okay, hold on.
There you go.
Okay. Is that it right there? We're good?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there we go. Sorry, guys. We're trying to work through the kinks here. And there's our question below. So to answer this, instead of doing our case system, and we were talking about this over the weekend with Khore, we're just going to go around the room and everybody's going to take a guess, and we're going to go in the order of the leaderboard. So, Joe, we're going to put you right there because you're in first. Tom, we're going to put you right there because you're in second. Khore, you're third, and I'm fourth. So, Joe, you can start with the first guess. And
Rich, real quick, go scroll up.
Okay, hang on one second. Hang on one second, guys. This is what we're trying
because
to do.
You can turn. If anyone watches John Boy, they do a lot of these. So there's a way if you scroll. I can't really see if you scroll up. There's a way for you to turn it onto like practice mode, so you won't have a timer. Because if not, it's 13 minutes to do it, which we probably should be able to do anyway. I don't know where it says it though.
I don't know how to do it, but let's just see how this rock.
Should just be a button.
Well, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but we'll see how this rocks out live. All right, so let's get this.
Use the time limit to our advantage.
Yeah, so we got 13 minutes on the clock, 103 possible answers there, and Joe,
I will say, let's just so we can move it around, maybe like 10 seconds per person to give an answer.
Yeah. Sure,
that's fair.
That's right. Sounds
and
good.
every player's only on here once, right? So
Correct.
There's no way of getting like multiple. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, let's do Madison Bumgarner for the pitchers.
Yep, Bumgarner's there.
Psycho move. I will take Salvatore Perez.
Salvi Perez is up there as well.
I wouldn't have just typed in Perez because you could have.
I'll go with Lindor. Let's go with the Met.
Francisco Lindor. And I'll take a Yankee. I'll go Giancarlo Stanton. All right, Joe, back to you.
Let's do Mike Trout.
Mike Trout is up there.
I will take Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt.
I'll go with
good at spelling.
Robbie Cano.
Robinson Cano. Don't you know? Well, I'm going to go Nolan Arenado.
I see you guys are going with my method here.
Let's go Yadier Molina.
Yadi Molina is there.
Ooh.
Oh, at the very bottom.
Whoa. Okay, let's see. Let's go with this is till now, right?
Yeah, I gotta give him an answer now.
The Judge.
Aaron Judge.
I meant like it wasn't the 2010s. It's like
2010s
is today. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with let's see. Give me Trey Turner.
Trey Turner is there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go Anthony Rizzo.
Ryan Braun.
Ryan Braun. Oh,
no,
Ryan Braun. He's there.
What I just had. Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen is there.
Let's go with Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman, the MVP of the World Series, is there. I'm gonna go.
Not there. He's gone.
I'm gonna go with Yordan Alvarez. Who is there?
Wow. I'm gonna go with Justin Upton.
Justin Upton. Oh, you got a double.
Double.
This is why we don't do the last names.
I'm only giving you 1 point there, Joe.
That's fine.
All right.
I will go.
I can't believe BG Upton's there.
I
though.
can't believe.
I was also shocked too. Give me Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz is there.
I'm gonna go with let's say Seager.
Corey Seager.
Yep.
Corey Seager is there. All righty. I am JD Martinez. Oh, Russell Martin. Damn it.
Martin.
That's not going to count. All right. JD Martinez. Not there.
Maybe take out the JD.
Multiple positions. That's why.
Oh, so it's
That's true. Yeah.
So you're just going to X or he's just passed over?
Just passed over.
Okay.
Passed over.
Got it.
Jay Bruce.
Jay Bruce is there.
Brian McCann.
Brian McCann. Yep.
Let's go with Ryan Schwarber. See if Schwarber's there.
Kyle Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber. I don't know why I said Rob. Right. Kyle Schwarber.
JT Realmuto is there.
Chris Davis, the Oakland one.
Oh, the Oakland one?
No,
okay.
Yeah,
Chris
I was gonna say.
Davis.
No
Not
H.
there.
No H.
Really?
No H.
Wait, no H?
Sorry, without the H.
No, I thought there was an H. No, it's still not there. No Chris
Oh,
Davis.
okay. Sorry. I will go with the Sanchez, Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez.
Yes, definitely we need a Gary here.
Gary Sanchez is there.
Let's go with Christian Yelich.
Christian Yelich. Don't need a first for that. I'm going to go Jose Altuve. Is there.
Pujols.
Joe. Albert Pujols is there.
Wow, surprised that high. Give me Buster Posey.
Buster Posey is there.
Give me Yadier Molina. Oh, we
Already
already
there.
My apologies. Let's go.
That counts.
Okay. Wilson, I'm going to go Wilson Contreras. Is there.
Let's go Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier. There. Thomas.
I am gonna go with Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien. Semien? Not there.
I don't think he's on here.
Not there. I'm gonna go Tulowitzki. Troy Tulowitzki.
Wow. Jose Ramirez.
Definitely got to spell it out. Jose Ramirez is there. Yes.
Do we skip Corey there?
Yeah, you guys skipped me for a minute.
Oh, go Corey then today.
Give me Marcel Ozuna.
Marcel Ozuna. Not there.
Not there. Wow.
Okay.
Tom?
Give me. Where's it?
Corey's gonna go right back to you.
Gleyber Torres.
Gleyber Torres is there. Corey.
Let's see. Let's go with
727.
Yeah.
All right,
Work.
that's 10
Wow,
seconds.
I'm starting
Okay.
to blank here. Let's go with Votto. I see that.
I'll give it to him
Cincinnati
because we skipped. All right,
Yeah.
we'll go. Votto it is. Miguel Cabrera. Oh, hang on. I'm going to spell it out. Miguel Cabrera. There he is.
Kyle Seager.
Kyle Seager is there.
Wow. God. Jose Abreu.
Jose Abreu is there. Chris Davis from the Orioles. Chris Davis is there.
Just type
There you
in
go.
Davis, see if the other one comes up because
I'm afraid to.
okay. I don't think there's another Davis
Okay,
there.
I'll try it again. No,
But-
no other Davis.
Okay. So
Go ahead, Joe.
let's go Zach Greinke.
Zach Greinke is there.
Matt Olson.
Matt Olson
Shoot, that
is
last
there.
one.
There's Betts on here.
Oh, sorry,
Betts. Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts is there. Teoscar Hernandez
Yeah, better type in Teoscar.
not there.
Nope.
That hurts.
Adrian Beltre.
Is there.
Let's finish out the first baseman with Carlos Santana.
Carlos
Same guitarist.
Santana is there. First base is done.
Let's go with let's go with Acuna.
Ronald Acuna.
Yeah, too young.
Not there. Not there. No Acuna. Crap. Rafael
5 seconds.
Devers? No, not there.
Wow.
No Rafael Devers. go ahead.
Machado.
Machado is there.
You guys smell that? Is that Rugnin Odor?
Oh, Rugi. Rugi's there.
Jeez.
Good pull.
Is Harper on here?
Bryce Harper. Not there.
Wow.
Too many positions.
I got a curious.
Oh.
Adam Duvall is there.
Let's go with Evan Longoria.
Good pick.
Longo is there.
You guys ready for this one? Give me Neil Walker.
Neil
Good pull.
Walker there.
Wow.
Okay, Corey.
Let's go with Wilmer Flores.
Wilmer Flores.
Not up there.
Not there. Josh Donaldson. There.
Javi Baez.
Javier Baez is there.
Oh, who's the guy I just had? Oh crap! Who's the guy I just had? Oh my god! Who did I just freaking? Sano. Miguel Sano.
What was that? Sano?
Sano, yeah.
No, not there.
Damn it! I had someone.
Trevor.
Yeah, so you could take it, Rich. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Trevor Story.
Okie dokum.
Way to take advantage of an idiot. Let's go. Let's go. Alex Gordon.
Idiot. So stupid.
Let's go with Torrey Hunter.
Not there.
No.
Austin Riley.
Austin Riley is not there.
Yeah, he should. Can you type?
Austin.
Wait,
Austin
how is
Riley,
he not? How is he not
Austin
that guy?
Riley, not there.
No.
Austin
Okay.
Riley.
Wow.
215 to crack third baseman.
Corey.
Let's go with Chris Young, outfield.
Chris Young, not there. Oh boy. Okay. Hunter Pence. Yes. Joe.
Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, not there.
No.
Tom.
Let's go with. Damn it! Give me Juan Soto. Is he on here?
Juan
Did he make it?
Soto, not
No, I didn't think so.
there.
Just
Too many
Lord.
positions.
Yeah, let's go Adam Jones.
Adam Jones is there. The outfield thing is screwing me up. I highly doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Let's go Buxton. Byron Buxton. He is there. Wow. That is him. Okay. That's crazy. Joe.
We got just over 2 minutes.
Let's go Wainwright.
Wayno is there.
Nice.
Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday is there.
Let's go Yoenis Cespedes.
Cespedes is there. Noah Syndergaard is there.
Yeah, there you go.
David Ortiz.
Big Poppy. David Ortiz is there.
Give me Edwin Encarnacion.
Encarnacion, not there.
Got a lot of first base.
Yeah.
Let's go with wow, that second base. That's not Neil Walker's already gone. Jacob deGrom. I don't think he's on there.
DeGrom is not there. I'm gonna go Jose Bautista.
Nice guess.
Matt Kemp.
Not there.
Wow.
Give me
The next one.
who are you? I pass. I'm out of time,
pass.
probably.
Very fast.
I'm out of time, so
Yeah.
Let's go with oh God, I'm blanking.
Need an
here.
answer.
Let's go Arrieta, Jake Arrieta.
Arrieta is there.
Oh!
Yasmani Grandal.
oh,
I was wondering who that was. I kept blanking.
Beltron.
Not there.
At that point, probably the positions.
Tom.
Oh, give me Hosmer.
Eric Hosmer, not there. First base.
What about Springer?
George Springer is there. Ian Happ is there. Joe, 5 seconds.
Ryan Dozier.
I'll give it to you. It's there.
I was just typing it out. All right. So that's the rest of the field.
That was Albie. Damn it.
Okay.
Travis Wood. I would never gotten Travis Wood.
Travis.
Yeah, I think you guys got
Giovanni
screwed up because
Gallardo.
the outfield's broken up. So
Carlos.
it's broken
We
up
didn't
by left
say
field, center
Ohtani.
field, right field.
We didn't say
Joe-
Ohtani.
I can't believe we didn't say
Pilar?
Ohtani. That's
Billy
insane.
Butler is that guy from the
Cole
Yankees
Calhoun,
also.
Brent Rooker.
Wow, okay.
That was also.
Matt Latos, a teammate of Joey Bag of Donuts. Look at that.
Didn't say
Tomato
Carlos
stuff.
Correa.
What a name.
Damn it.
There we go. Jason
right.
Hayward. All right. Cool stuff. So how we did it this time. Now, obviously, that was a lot of points right there if we had done it the normal way. So we're not doing it that way, though. We do have a tiered system right here, Core. So we're adding this on top of the points we have here. All right. So, Core, let's I'm gonna do some math here now.
Start with last place. And then...
Yeah.
Let's get the points reveal.
So last place we got Corey. He had
Oh.
14 correct answers.
Okay, so Corey with a 0. So he has at a total of 19 still. So he's still at 19. All right.
Yep. Next we got Tom. He got 15.
Ooh. Tom at 15. So what is that now? What were the points on that? So it was 4. So that's 27 points for Tom total because it was 4 on the tiered. Okay. Second
Second is Joe. He got
Oh!
18.
Joe with 18. So that was 7 points. So 7 to Joe, and that's 31.
And then
Go ahead.
Rich, you won. You got one more than Joe. 19 total correct.
That's
But-
10 points for me.
It doesn't matter because now that Tom came in third and I came in second and Rich was in dead last, that makes me the champion, baby. Let's go.
I can't believe this. I can't believe we allowed this to happen. So yeah, that's how it shakes out. So after the tiered points, in fourth place for the season, Corey Favs finishes with 19. In second place, I finished with 20. In third place, rather, I finished in 25. Tom in second place finishes with 27. That doesn't look right, Joe. And Joe finishes with 31, first place. And your new winner of the ESP Games of 2024, Mr. Joe Pugliese. Congratulations.
Let's go.
I don't even know why I studied all the MVPs today. Just why did I even look at all the MVPs?
I did. I studied World Series. I thought that
I
was
looked at that too, but there wasn't enough of them. So I figured maybe it's just MVPs
freaking
and there weren't going to be
believe it.
duplicates.
Wild. Well, congratulations, Joe. New champion here at ESB Games. So I know we're gonna have we're gonna compensate in some kind of way. We're gonna figure that out over the next few weeks. But congrats to Joe. It's certainly not gonna be money, so don't check your Venmo later. So
It better
Core,
not be. I
really
didn't get
do
anything
appreciate-
last year.
Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll have to make a crown or something. But Core, we really do appreciate all the great trivia all season long. Any parting words on this final episode of season 3?
No, just thanks for a great season. We'll do more of these Sporkle quizzes going into next year.
Absolutely.
And we'll try to keep it a little bit of a cleaner process next time.
Yeah.
It was interesting to get it all shared, but no, we do appreciate it. Thank you very much, Core, and we will talk to you in the offseason.
Sounds good.
Take care, man.
Yeah, thank you, Corp.
Mr. Andrew Core, give him a follow if you haven't already. At _Core on Instagram and at core _ on X. Look at Joe. Joe looks so happy with his crown, man. Unreal. Well, damn. All right. Well, let's go to we'll go to the spots here. We got Instagram, then X here. Corey Favs. Let's talk Instagram to start.
Yeah. So for Instagram, go ahead and join our 6,800 followers and growing, just on the cusp of 7K. At Empire State of Baseball, you'll find our archived segments, all our meme reels, pretty much every graphic from the show makes its way to the gram. So go ahead at Empire State of Baseball. And all of us individually, myself at Corey Favs, Joe at JR Pugs, Rich at Rich J. Rivera, and Tom at T. Wospil.
Tom, you're part of the Yankees content team over on X. What else is happening over there on the app?
All kinds of stuff. 3,300 followers on the main ESB podcast Twitter account. We also have our subsidiary accounts, ESBNYM for your Mets takes and ESBNYY for your Yankees takes. You can follow us all individually as well. Corey at G Gory, Joe at JR Pugs, myself at T Waspel, Rich at Rich J Rivera, and then of course Sierra also helping us out on the Yankee account at Sierra Not Missed.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. All right, let's get into our predictions review. You definitely went a little over time on the Khore Kurriculum, but that was just more trying to get it going there. So let's get into it. And check back on the our preseason preview predictions. That's a lot of P's. It was all the way back in March 18th of this year when we did all these predictions. So a lot has changed, to say the least. All right, let's take a look at our first bit, and that's the World Series. And the World Series, yeah, none of these guys even got out of the wild card round. The Mariners didn't even make the postseason. But Joe, we look at this list here. The Braves clearly the favorite, but I don't think anybody was expecting Ronald Acuna to go down with another torn ACL, and for Spencer Strider to also go down with his season-ending surgery. Because this was right before Strider went down with his injury as well.
Yeah, and Austin Riley to go down late in the year, and have a bad year. The Braves ended up being a mess. Albies got hurt again. Murphy got hurt earlier in the year. So the Braves resembled more of the hospital for special surgery than they did a baseball team at the end of this year. So that kind of lowers them. But listen, I had the Seattle Mariners, and the Mariners pitching held up its end of the bargain in terms of being the best pitching staff in the majors. The fact of the matter was the Mariners were averaging less than 3 runs per game for most of the year. And it doesn't matter how many quality starts you have if you're losing every game 2-1.
Brutal.
So that was my bad pick of this year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, we all had some combination of Astros or Mariners in our matchups too. Some combination.
That was the wildest thing.
Yeah,
right? We went with just those 3 teams, and we had all the different matchups there. So that was kind of wild. Speaking of wild, this was always my favorite one to do for the preseason, and it's our bold prediction. And to see how wrong we all are. But listen, for those who chose the Tigers winning the AL Central, I mean, you had the miracle run. They just didn't win the Central Division there, Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, they did make the run. Now, listen, where they ate it like the rest of the AL Central of getting to play the god-awful White Sox. Yeah, they were, but the rest of the Central got to play them as well, and they did make a run at it. I think think Joe and I can feel pretty proud that we got that close.
Corey Favs, love your confidence in the New York Mets, and for a good amount of the season, it looked like they could have finished top 10 in ERA.
Yeah, they hit that rough stretch in May where the pitching completely fell apart, but I think they finished around 14th or so, 15. Yeah, 15. Right in the middle of the pack. So honestly, considering they did this without Senga, if I knew Senga was going to miss pretty much the whole year, I wouldn't have done this prediction. So I still give the Mets rotation credit. They did a pretty good job this year, all considering.
Now, as far as my bold prediction goes, a walk-off to clinch the World Series. All right, let's move on to the next thing. We have the Rookie of the Year. So let's take a look at the Rookies of the Year for the American League. We had Junior Cabanero for Joe, Evan Carter. Tom and I was feeling good about the Texas outfielder, as was Corey Favs, but that was Wyatt Langford. And I think between the 3, it was really only Langford that had probably the best look of the 3 of these guys. Cabanero just didn't play enough, and Evan Carter, from the very beginning of the season, just did not have that magic he had in the 2023 postseason there, Joe.
Yeah. Listen, I thought the Caminero would get the role for the Rays. He got a cup of coffee, but never that. And listen, I think we all thought Evan Carter was going to be a top player in this league this year. And it just never looked that way. Wyatt Langford might be in the top 3 or 4 for the Rookie of the Year voted. It didn't have overall impressive numbers, but basically played the entire year, played some good defense, and had some moments where he showed that talent that you're waiting for. So Corey might win by default here, even though I don't think Langford's winning Rookie of the Year.
We don't even know who's going to win this yet. This is still, I feel like, up in the air.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be Luis Hill, and I'm not putting my Yankee pinstripes on for that one. I think that's fair. Yeah. But we'll move on to the National League side. And Corey Favs, looking at the National League here, you were the outlier. We were all feeling great about Yamamoto, but Yamamoto had his injury middle of the season. I mean, if you saw seeing what he did firsthand in the postseason, Yamamoto was incredible. But definitely not enough there to be NL Rookie of the Year. But looking at these two, and Harrison and Yamamoto, again, we were off. We were not off on the position, because there's a good chance that Paul Skeens may be pulling out this NL Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, I had an idea going into this one, and was that Yamamoto. I thought it had some durability concerns, and sure enough, he did. He missed half the season, but he looked good when he played. Kyle Harrison, I thought, well, you know what? He had a taste of the big league action in 2023. Thought this might be his year. 4.5 ERA, though, is not going to get you Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Certainly not. But hey, maybe these guys could be up for a Cy Young award down the line. So let's take a look at the National League Cy Young predictions here. And Corey Favs was off pretty much at the beginning of the season with Spencer Strider as his guy. Zach Wheeler, though, not a bad pick, though, for Joe, Tom, and I. But I'm not sure. Is this Zach Wheeler here, Joe? You're seeing him as a potential National League Cy Young for 2024?
He's either going to be first or second. I think a lot of it depends on how people see the end of the year with Chris Sale. You know, the Chris Sale, I think he won the Triple Crown this year in pitching or close to that.
Mm-hmm.
But Wheeler pitched a lot more than Sale did as it ended up, and is certainly either going to get first or second, I believe. So this is a realistic, and I don't think any of us thought Sale would be where he is currently at.
Sale didn't think he'd be where he is.
But I think Wheeler's got, if you're at least second, I mean, that justifies us picking him.
Yeah,
100%. I like it. So Zach Wheeler still in the conversation. So we flip to the American League side of the house here, Thomas. And for the American League, again, a lot of favoritism towards Seattle from the show. You and I had Luis Castillo. Joe had George Kirby. Corey Favs staying with the AL West and going Framber Valdez. For this American League Cy Young, and these are three guys who didn't have poor seasons, to say the least, but none of the three are probably going to be your American League Cy Young this year.
No, it's probably going to be Tarek Skubal. Although I think there was definitely some maybe movement for Clase to get in there for a reliever to win it, but it's probably Skubal, who no one was going to be picking, preseason as their Cy Young as a breakout player. But yeah, these guys all had good years. They just didn't have a good enough year to take home the trophy.
Yep. So nobody had Skubal there, who's looking like the unanimous Cy Young Award winner for the AL. So we'll continue in the AL here. And Corey Favs, let's turn. Actually, you know what, Joe? Let's turn our attention here to these three: Yordan Alvarez, Julio Rodriguez, and Juan Soto. Now, I don't think J-Rod's going to be a finalist. Alvarez had time missing. I don't think he makes it. Is there a shot, though, the American League MVP finalists? There may be two Yankees in there, in Soto and Judge.
Yeah, I think you're looking at Soto. I think Judge is obviously going to win it. I think it's going to be Judge, Witt, and then Soto for your MVPs. Alvarez is one of those guys now that Alvarez always seems to miss a chunk of time. It always seems to be large enough to take him out of consideration for an MVP. If this guy stayed healthy for 162, his numbers could theoretically be where Judge's numbers are, but he's never on the field enough to do that. And Julio, I mean, listen, Julio, this is a guy that has all the talent in the world. He's kind of caught in between of being a superstar, but he has zero supporting cast offensively around him. Yeah. I mean, that's been his biggest issue. There is no one to protect him. There's nothing around him. So Juan Soto is definitely the closest one here. Is going to probably be, I would say, third in the top three.
I think Gunnar Henderson also probably may vie for a finalist spot as well. So it'll be interesting. Now, Corey Favs, the reason why I waited is because you might be the one to have the only correct, I think, absolute correct answer in this one. National League MVP, Corey Favs right there with Shohei Ohtani. Tom and I, again, just like how you fell off with Strider, we fell off with Ronald Acuna Jr. early. We were expecting him to go back-to-back on the MVPs. He goes down with another ACL injury. Joe had Corbin Carroll, who was off to such a slow start to the season. Found a little bit of himself midway through the year, but definitely not enough to net him any MVP finalist recognition. But Corey Favs, my guy, you had Shohei.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just had a great feeling about Shohei coming into this year because obviously he's got all the talent in the world. He just went across town from the Angels to the Dodgers, and you're putting him in that Dodger lineup. The RBI chance completely went up. I mean, all of that talent around him. Eventually, you got to pitch to somebody in that lineup. So they ended up putting Ohtani at the top of the lineup throughout the playoffs there. Ended up winning the World Series as well. So I just had a good feeling about Shohei, and that's even taking away the pitching aspect of his game. He's a star player, one of the best, if not the best in the league, just with his bat alone. The arm makes it a completely different level of talent. But Shohei is going to be the NL MVP. Francisco Lindor will get some votes. I do think Lindor will be the second place finalist most likely, and Lindor gave him a good shot too. If Lindor didn't miss the last couple of weeks of the season when he was kind of on and off and nursing the back injury, there was a legitimate chance that he could have made a run for his money, but Ohtani's going to get this one. Lindor will finish in second place.
I mean, listen, Lindor probably should get it because Ohtani should be in federal prison. So there's
that's another aspect of it.
So,
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Fair enough. But there you go. So Corey nailed it on the head with Shohei Ohtani. We'll see if Zach Wheeler has the votes to potentially win a Cy Young there. But other than those two, we're not great with the predictions this year. So there you go. Your 2024 preseason predictions busted, whatever you want to call it. That's done with, and we move on to TikTok. And make sure to give us a follow over on TikTok at Empire State of Baseball. We have some past River Ave rewinds, but forget about what the Yankees did and worry about what Corey Favs is doing over on Instagram, because what he's done on Instagram is being brought over to TikTok as well. A lot of those meme reels that you've been seeing that have been netted millions of views, they've been getting a lot of traffic on our TikTok as well. So make sure to give us a follow over on TikTok. But as we close down the show, and also make sure to join us after the show, we have another episode of Extra Innings. I'll be there at the very minimum. Hopefully Joe, hopefully Corey, maybe Tom, maybe Sierra, who knows? But Extra Innings will be going live right after this. Probably not going to be going for the 2-3 hours that we typically have gone for since season's over, but make sure to join us for another edition of Extra Innings following tonight's episode. Now, since we're closing out the regular season series, our season number 3, we look forward to what's in store. And what's in store for you guys is our off-season series. So in our off-season series, we're not going weekly. We cut a lot of the recurring segments out, the games that we've played, a lot of the Empire Express stuff, and we just keep it focused on certain topics throughout the year. And last year, we were kind of going on a month-to-month basis. Sometimes we throw in an emergency episode if we really needed to get on, and maybe that will also happen. But we will go by a tri-weekly schedule starting in 2 weeks' time on November the 18th with our off-season agendas. And again, if you weren't part of last year's off-season series and didn't experience one of our off-season agenda episodes, it is by far one of the most fun episodes we do here at Empire State of Baseball.
It is.
Corey and Joe assume the role as general manager of the New York Mets, and they have 2 different game plans where Tom and I will assume the role as the general manager of the Yankees, and we will have 2 different game plans. And I said it before, I'm going with the non-Soto plan, as Tom is going with the Juan Soto plan in 2 weeks' time. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to come back here in 2 weeks. We're going to take a bye week next week. November 18th starts our tri-weekly schedule. December 9th, December 30th, January 20th, and February 10th will be our 5 episodes for this off-season series up until March. But we'll keep you guys posted throughout the season on X when we decide to go live. Again, there may be an episode where we get on here and talk about Juan Soto and where he ends up going. Whether it's the Mets, whether it's back to the Yankees, whether it's to hopefully not the damn Dodgers, but regardless of Juan Soto's going, we may be hopping on the horn as well. So just stay tuned with us on social media. We'll let you guys know if we do go live with an impromptu episode of Empire State of Baseball. But our all-season series begins in 2 weeks' time. That is for the all-season agenda, episode 110, Monday, November the 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's the other thing, too. These episodes are all Monday at 8 o'clock p.m., back to our normal time slot from the regular season. And that's a lot. And that's it. So again, just keep us followed on social media. We'll let you guys know when we're going live. But that'll do it for episode number 109. And I can't believe it, fellas. Season number 3 in the books, just like So let's go around the room with some last licks, starting with Mr. Corey Favs.
Listen, just want to thank all of you guys for joining us for season 3. It was a great year. Everyone in the chat. I mean, this was probably the year I enjoyed the most. I enjoyed every year, but it was just a really, really fun season with working with everyone here and interacting with all the fans. And I can't wait for the off season because I know the fun's going to continue.
Oh yeah, Joe.
Yeah, no, listen, it's unbelievable where we started this year to where we are now. Do you know how many subscribers we gained since November of last year? We gained 324 subscribers on YouTube since last year. I got the numbers right here.
Nice.
We increased, I believe, our following on X by several thousand in this calendar year. We have gone from not having an Instagram at the end of last year to having, how many followers do we have on Instagram, Rich?
Almost 7,000.
7,000 followers on Instagram with reels, several reels totaling 20 million views.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been in such a great position, and it's all thanks to the people who support us, our friends, our family, the community of both the Mets and Yankees on Twitter, X, Instagram, and all social media. It's been fantastic. I can't wait to see what next year has in store for us. And like I said, this isn't the end in this calendar year, just this season. But, this has been fun, and it's going to continue. And we just love being a part of this community.
Tom?
Yep. I couldn't say all that stuff better myself. I'll take the quick opportunity. I'm sure a lot of you know, if you've watched any TV recently, tomorrow is election day. So make sure you go out and vote. No one here should be telling you who you should vote for. You should vote for who you want to vote for. Go out and do that. Exercise your right, and hopefully the country doesn't burn down as a result of what's going to happen. Because let's get back together and be a little happier.
If it does burn down, I'll be roasting marshmallows.
Well, if it does burn to hell, we'll still be here live in 2 weeks' time here on Empire State of Baseball on YouTube, Instagram, and X. No, I mean, what Corey and Joe said, and even to an extent, Tom, I couldn't agree with anymore. It's been a magical year for 2024. I said at the beginning of the season that season 3 was going to be our best to date, and it certainly was. From the great guests we have, getting into the lives of some of the best creators here between the Mets, Yankees, and baseball communities all together. Hell, we even talked to Jim Leyritz, had him break down his entire 96 World Series at bat live on this show. We talked to great personalities with Pat Ragazzo and Eamon McEnany, and all of you. All of you have been so wonderful in the support here and being connected to you guys through YouTube streams, through X Spaces. You guys have been fantastic. And just thinking about the viewership of the show, as Joe is completely frozen right now. I don't know why. We're going to remove him real quickly because he's scaring me. Just thinking about the amount of people who show up on a weekly basis compared to where we were last year, where we were lucky to have 5, 10, scratching the surface with double the amount of people. We've had episodes where we've had 150 people in here. We had an episode once that had 700 plus people. I don't know what happened with the algorithm that day, but it was insane. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you for keeping our drive going. Thank you for being so supportive. And thank you so much for staying tuned on a weekly basis to Empire State of Baseball. We'll see you in the off season. Corey Favs, take it away. Let's end this thing.
Listen, hope everyone, Rich, Tom, everybody said it best. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks' time for the off-season specials. Take care.